In the morning, Bruce is recuperating in his bed as he's tended to by Barbara Gordon and Terry. In the living room, Ace too is resting before the TV from his non-specific injuries. Terry switches channel to a news segment where Price is grinning through an interview about Bruce Wayne's supposed accident in his home. Turning it off again, Terry and Barbara begins discussing how the Joker could know who and where they are, but Barbara, much like Bruce, adamantly claims the Joker is dead. Finally, things have gone so far it could only help for Terry to know the truth, and why Bruce refused to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about this scene at length. The Nostalgia Critic has already made an excellent video breaking down every aspect of this truly genius piece of Batman's legacy, but a few things are relevant to this video. After kidnapping Tim Drake, Robin at the time, the Joker spent several weeks torturing him, breaking down his psyche to the point of molding him into a childlike copy of himself. As time passed, Robin began telling the Joker everything about Batman, including who he is and anything else the Joker could have wanted to know. While this is going on, Batgirl is battling Harley Quinn, who falls down into an abyss, never to be seen again. The Joker overpowers Batman and hands Robin a gun, telling him to shoot him. Whether it's some small part of his sanity fighting for control, anger at the Joker for what he did to him, or he's just unable to focus his thoughts, Tim shoots the Joker instead before falling down on the floor, crying. Remember what I said earlier about the best Batman stories not just being a mystery, but a mystery the audience has access to. If you pay attention, you'll see the gun Robin used to kill the Joker is the same gun the Joker used to kill Bonk.
That's also how we did it in my day.
That is a nice little nod, but we don't know how this fits into the story. For all we know, this could just be a reference to the fact that's how the Joker died, and how little inconveniences like death bothers him. But does that fit in with his character though? The second thing we can take from this is Robin most definitely killed the Joker. Probably. We all know superhero stories can get pretty crazy, and anything between resurrection through quantum entanglement to fake death using bulletproof vests and blood bags have happened. But then you're usually given some sort of clue for how the character could still be alive. According to Barbara Gordon, they buried the Joker outside of Arkham Asylum, and in a scene that was cut from the movie, Bruce visited the destroyed Arkham Asylum to find the Joker's skeleton mockingly strung up with the words "I know" plastered on its chest. Going a bit further, in the show's episode Joyride, we get to see the Joker's skeleton, which does raise some questions about continuity, like how on earth did the Jokers find the body? But the point is, the Joker is most definitely dead. Unless he's not. As for Tim, Bruce and Barbara sent him to be treated by Leslie Tompkins, and Bruce forbade him from being Robin ever again. Tim went on to become a communications engineer with a wife and kids, and seems to have never looked back. Still, Terry realizes he's the one with the strongest connection to the night the Joker died, aside from Barbara and Bruce himself. Terry decides to visit Tim and get a feel for him. That particular day, he's repairing circuitry on a massive radio device out in the desert. Once he's isolated himself, he asks Terry to show himself, because he already knows he's there. When Terry asks if he heard what happened to Bruce, Tim seems indifferent to it but claims he had nothing to do with it, and was shocked when the Joker reappeared after all these years. Further on, he tells Terry he's moved on from it and how Bruce cast him out 40 years ago. And he tells Terry he too will have to move on from it someday, because nothing he, Batgirl, or any of the others in the Bat family did could ever live up to Bruce's standards.
Regrets, Mr. Drake?
When I was younger, part of me thought I would go on, and someday, capes, costumes, playing hero, it was kid stuff.
He claims Bruce did him a favor to forbid him from continuing, and makes it clear he has since come to hate the Robin suit. What we learn from this scene is not only does Drake work in communication, he's clearly very highly regarded in the field, since he's the one making repairs on such tremendous parabolas. Things do seem to have gone well for him, but even if he's still angry at Bruce for abandoning him, we know he can't be the Joker. They look nothing like one another for one, but also we saw him earlier and he was clearly unnerved by the Joker's appearance on TV, so he probably doesn't have any connection to him at all. As for his feelings towards Wayne, clearly they're more complicated than him not being allowed to be Robin anymore. The idea of anyone, especially a little kid, wanting to return to that kind of life after going through something like that is very strange. And if this conviction to help other people really was that strong, I really don't think it would have mattered if Bruce forbade him or not. He still would have carried on. Just like Dick Grayson did. It seems to me like Tim willingly gave up the suit, but the fact he didn't have a choice is what soured his relationship with Bruce. Or maybe it's the fact Bruce simply abandoned him after something so horrible happened. Either way, it seems Drake is motivated, but to somehow bring back the Joker from the dead seems too much for what resentment he holds towards Bruce. Meanwhile, Price is on his luxurious super yacht, about to celebrate becoming the CEO of Wayne Powers in Bruce's absence. Entering a dusky room, he finds a curvaceous beauty in his bed, only to realize, whoops, jailbait! Never underestimate the power of makeup, or a cartoonist's ability to make a character look younger. Terry listens in and finds it was Price who let the crew into the Wayne Powers factory, and now the Joker has decided Price has become a liability. The Joker activates a countdown from elsewhere, and they shackle Price to a table, intending to leave him to go down with the boat. But before anything happens, Terry bursts in through the windows, demanding answers. Surprisingly, the crew all jump out the window to flee the place rather than stay and fight. Answering the unspoken question, the vessel is illuminated in a white light from the sky, and Terry just managed to escape with Price before a bolt of energy decimates the boat. When they reach the harbor, 2 police officers are fortuitously waiting for them, and Terry hands them a copy of Price's confession before he soars back to the Wayne Manor. Imagine! The guy who wants Bruce's job, looks like the Joker, and is played by Mark Hamill, wasn't the Joker. I don't mind red herrings, but I prefer the hints to be subtle enough to be surprising when they are revealed as red herrings. Anyway, the main purpose of this scene is to reveal Jordan Price isn't the Joker, and to display the awe-striking new power the Joker has harnessed, and leave us contemplating what this means for Gotham's future. At no point in the story has Price seemed as anything more than a sleazeball, and the way it begins suggests nothing more. He enters a room where attractive female company waits for him to celebrate his promotion. We can clearly see it's one of the twins in his bed, so it isn't really surprising when she reveals herself. But it was surprising for Price to suddenly find himself surrounded by the crew. As for the weapon, I am very pleased. In the animated series, the Joker once got his hands on a nuke and had every intention of blowing up the city with it, so seeing him with a super weapon isn't that much of a stretch. Seeing him using that weapon, seeing what he can do with it, is 1,000-fold more effective than just suggesting it though. And I really like the reveal, because you have no idea what it will be until it starts happening. With a countdown you assume it's a standard as you want bomb, but a giant burst of kinetic energy from space is something else entirely. Back in the Batcave, Terry bemoans his situation.
If I was the Batman I was supposed to be, I'd have cracked this by now. Would have remembered that one little clue that everyone else overlooked.
Fortunately, Bruce has awakened from his restorative coma. Terry lets him know Barbara told the story about how the Joker died, and Bruce confesses that's why he didn't want Terry to go up against him. As Terry is about to tell Bruce he's a Batman in his own right, he glances over to the casings and notices something he hadn't earlier. The Robin suit is destroyed. Bruce assumes it's because Robin shot the Joker, but Terry doesn't believe it could simply be a vengeful anger, because if anything, Tim Drake hated the suit more than the Joker. Putting all the pieces together, Terry arrives at the conclusion Tim Drake has something to do with all of this after all. Bruce brushes him off, but Terry makes his case. It occurs to Terry to combine all the technology the crew has stolen into something that could be used by someone of Tim Drake's caliber, and finds the result is a satellite jamming system one could use to take control over military hardware in orbit. That's what the beam of light from earlier was, and with this evidence put in front of him, Bruce admits the possibility it is Tim behind it all after all, and tells Terry to suit up. However, before leaving, Terry announces he wants to bring someone else with him, and the camera shifts towards Ace. More than being able to punch people and look good doing it, being Batman is also about having instincts and a sharp mind, as we all know, and from this moment, everything about this movie is Terry justifying himself as Batman. Bruce is awake so he can witness and approve, and seeing the reason in Terry's thinking, accepts it. As for the reasoning itself, I feel like Bruce should have been able to realize the tech could be assembled into something a long time ago, but we needed it to be Terry to figure it out, or he would have just remained a punk who punched people and looked good doing it. As for the clue itself, with everything else Terry has learned since, I think it's a very good one. It's subtle, and it's a result of the Joker's actions, not something he deliberately left or dropped haphazardly. This is something he wanted to do, and it revealed something Terry and Bruce needed. In short, he made a mistake. As for why on earth he takes Ace with him,
Don't touch my dog.
in the show, Ace saved Terry's life more than once. Strangely enough, both times he was about to be eaten. And while superheroes with animal sidekicks is generally seen as silly beyond words, Ace has proven himself to be more than a lapdog for Wayne several times. And the Joker hurt him. He needs to get his own back.